Right, morning all. I've got a bit of a problem with my beautiful Beamer. I took it out for a bit of a blast, was it Saturday? It was only a short run to pick up something that I'd bought. So I was just shooting down from Chippenham to Swindon on the M4, and I was booting it a little bit. And it went bang. Well, it didn't really, but at high speed I had a sudden loss of power, and I just had to coast into the side, into the hard shoulder, and it was making a bit of a noise. I only realised, obviously going at slower speed, that it was a bit of noise coming out of it. So I turned it off and then sort of waited a bit, started it up again. I couldn't see any warning signs or high temperature or anything like that. There was no indication. But yeah, it sounds rough. I started it up again and it still sounds rough. So I've turned it off. I got recovered by the AA and brought back, and the bike is here now. Again, I haven't started it, but I'm thinking it's going to be a valve issue or something corresponding to the valves, maybe cam chain tensioner, something like that. Thankfully with the Beamer, with the boxer engine, the head's poked right out at you. So I'm going to have a little look at that now and see how I get on. So there we are. There is my glorious Beamer in all its majesty. Yeah, that I believe to be the offending side of the bike. So yeah, first things first, I'm going to have to remove the crash bars that I put on it and start disassembling that piston head. Okie dokie. That I've taken off part of this crash frame just to get into the to the head. I've removed the primary spark plug. This is a 2-spark system. There's another one underneath. But yeah, I've got a bit of an indication as to what's wrong with this. If you have a look at this, this is a chewed up, battered up spark plug. It's almost as if something's been hitting it, which is actually possibly good news. There's obviously something in the combustion chamber that's hitting that spark plug. I imagine, or it must be, a valve head. It'll be the inlet valve has come off, broken off, and it's rattling around in the combustion chamber, causing all manner of problems. So yeah, hopefully the timing chain and related equipment is okay, cams, rockers, etc. It looks like a broken valve to me at this point, so I'll have to strip it down a bit further and see what I find. Joy. Right, that's the valve cover off. There's no apparent damage under the valve cover that I can see on this side. However, I have got a small torch and I've had a look down the spark plug entry hole into the engine, and I can see there's foreign objects in the combustion chamber, as I sort of knew there would be. So yeah, it's the strip down continues. Right, it is now the day after. I've looked through the Haynes manual and got an idea of what I'm going to need to do for this job. So I've ordered up some tools which I haven't got. I've had to get valve spring compressors, valve bedding tool and paste, and a TDC lock tool, top dead center lock tool for this. So there's not a great deal I can do until those have arrived. What I am going to do today is strip all the stuff off around that area and get it ready to work on. Basically, my hope is when I do crack open that head, that there hasn't been too much damage caused in the combustion chamber, because you've obviously had what I believe to be a broken valve rattling around, not for very long, but for long enough that it could potentially have caused quite a lot of damage. So I'll be looking at the piston liners, the piston head, and of course the valves, and basically everything that's inside that combustion chamber, to see if it can be used again. If it can't, it's going to be a very expensive job, and I'll have to sort of have a bit of a think about that then. But until I get to that point, I'm just going to have to strip it down and see what I find. So, jobs for today. It shouldn't take too long, but a little bit of sort of preparation work. This is obviously the side I'm working on, the left-hand side of the bike. Throttle body, basically everything attached to that cylinder head has to come off. So throttle body, the secondary spark plug at the bottom there, this side panel and the one the other side, because the other side is the side where I put in the TDC lock pin to lock the you can have a look in there. I don't know if you can see it in this poor light, but that's the cam chain coming into this side of the cylinder. I need to lock that before I take that out, so I don't mess up the timing. Obviously with this bike, it's a single piece exhaust coming down from the two exhaust manifolds. The whole thing's going to have to come off, which may be a bit of a problem. Well, not a problem, it'll just be a little bit awkward. I'll have to, I may have to deattach it at the back and just remove the whole thing, or I may be able to just get it to hang down. So yeah, I'm just going to slowly and surely crack on with that. There's no rush for this job. Like I say, I'm waiting for tools, I'm waiting for other stuff to arrive, so I'm just going to crack on at my own slow, deliberate pace. Right, obviously an essential bit of kit, the good old Haynes manual. Also this. This here I bought a while ago. I've had to service this bike a couple of times now. I've obviously owned it for 5 years. This I bought on eBay. It's for removing the coil packs that go over the spark plugs. You've got these things here that go into the head, and you need to pull those out. You can obviously bodge it by being very careful, because this plastic here is extremely brittle, as I found out because I tried to bodge it and it didn't work. This thing here just fits over them and it pulls out nice and easily. So that, if you've got one of these bikes or a similar type coil pack, I would recommend as pretty essential. Right, again, no great surprise here. This is the second spark plug, the one that goes underneath the cylinder head. It's even more mashed up. You can see that the centre conductor graphite there is smashed up. Totally funked. Yeah, I sort of noticed there was something wrong. Normally with a spark plug, you just click, break the seal, and then you can take it out by hand. Especially with these, I always use copper slip when I put spark plugs in, or anything into the frame or into the bike generally. But yeah, it was stiff, or there was resistance all the way out. I had to use the ratchet on it. I couldn't do it by hand, just with the extension, which I normally would do, which gives the game away a little bit. So yeah, it's that wasn't unexpected at all. So yeah, new spark plugs will be on order as well, I reckon. Well, once I find out that this situation can be recoverable. So on we go. Right, another drama now. That is always a possibility when you're dealing with exhaust studs. See, they're tiny, aren't they? 2 on each exhaust for a big 1200cc Beamer. Probably can't see that very well. There's 2 on each exhaust flange here. Obviously I'm not using a massive breaker bar, it's only a little socket there. These 3 came out reasonably easily. This one I applied a bit of force and it just sheared off. I did spray them beforehand with penetrating oil, but there's not really much you can do. I don't know whether or not these had copper slip applied to them before they were put together. I just don't know. You'd like to think so, being Beamer, but you just don't know. So now I've got the stud stuck in the engine casing, and that could be a massive drama to get out. It really could be a massive pain. I've got stud extraction kits and stuff like that, but they're often a real pain. I've found that stud extraction stuff generally doesn't work. You have to apply map gas and you know, cut grooves into it and all that kind of stuff. It could be, it'll probably be a fucking pain in the arse getting that out, but that I'll deal with when I come to it. And it's on the right, so yeah, the right hand side, so it's not the head that's going to be coming off, or at least it's not the head that I intended to come off. So that's a bit of a bastard, that is, but there's pretty much no avoiding it. Those tiny little studs for that massive exhaust system on a big bike is going to get very hot, and seas like that. So at least I've got 3 of them off. Look at the bright side, eh? Right, it's time for one of old Marky's top tips. I only found this out recently. I was playing around, my car shed its auxiliary belt, so I had to replace that, and I needed a certain tool which I didn't have. I thought I'd just be able to get by using a socket, but it didn't work in the end. So hunting around in my workshop, I found the perfect solution, which I'll share with you now, because I've just had to use it again to get the back box exhaust clamp undone. So get ready for this, here we go. What I found is, what I needed to do, because this is the only thing that fitted in a certain awkward part, I needed an extender bar to go on that. And what I found worked perfectly well was a bit of uni bracket. Obviously size dependent. At the moment I need a 15. With my car I needed a 14. And it works perfectly as a sort of, you know, breaker bar type fix for a ring spanner. So there you go. Right, it's all go. I've just had to take a time out and have a brew. Basically everything involved in this so far has been a problem. I'm still on the exhaust. I've got to take the exhaust off, like I showed you. The downpipes are connected, 2 into 1 system, and I've already sheared off one of the nuts that hold the flange in. The flanges are the next problem. They're proving to be difficult. As you can see here, I have the back box off. This is the sort of the end of the 2 into 1. It's held on the subframe with a little bracket that caused me no problems at all, and obviously duplicated on both sides. You've got this flange here, which is on there very solid, and I'm trying to get it off. So yeah, I've tried several things to get that off. I've applied some heat, not crazy heat from the map gas. I've just used a heat gun. I've tried tapping it with a mallet and a solid screwdriver. It's just not working. I've tried prying it. nothing's working. I don't want to start smacking it about hard with a screwdriver. I don't want to start marking it up and possibly even bending it. So yeah, I've had to fabricate a tool for this, which I'll show you now. This is basically what I've come up with. I've got a flat piece of bar, and in the end of it I've had to grind in a sort of lip there. I've then cut various holes along the bar and fitted a bracket. This is basically a slide hammer, so I'll slide this end over the thing. I might need to just do some fine tuning to that end, and then tap on that bracket with a hammer and just pull it off. So and there we go. God, it works an absolute treat. Yeah, this is pretty good actually. I don't know if you can see much of that, but this can slide into these tiny little gaps, and then it's solid. So yeah, that works an absolute treat. I'm quite happy with myself actually for that. Righty-ho. That is the exhaust off, and it can just hang like that, because all I need is room to take that head off, that bit there off. I don't know if you can see this too well. I don't know if you can. Let me see if I can show you. This stuff's in the way, but sorry about it. Can you see that valve that's going into the exhaust outlet? I don't know if you can see it. Sorry about this. I can't really show you that, but it's no longer a valve, it's a bar. I thought it would be the fuel inlet valve for some reason, but it's not. It's the exhaust valve, or rather one of them, maybe even both, I don't know. But but yeah, it's that's what's come off. You can see it through the exhaust port. So yeah, I'm still not really any the wiser until I can get that head off and see the damage it's done inside. But yeah, at least I know what the problem is now for absolute sure, and what side of the cylinder head it's on. Doesn't make any difference because the whole thing has to come off anyway. But yeah, that's the exhaust off, so the strip down continues. Right, throttle body, slightly disconnected, but that's next on the list. However, brew, and that's enough of that for one day, I think. I'm currently working from home for 3 days a week, just because of the current situation and all that, so I've got plenty of time, and like I say, I'm waiting for tools. So I've tidied all my tools away, and that's me for the day, pretty much. I'm just having a brew. I'm very impressed with my little fabricated lip slide hammer there. It worked a treat, but it's knocked the end of it up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to file and or angle grind that to a nicer point, just to tidy it up from where it's been bashed. I'm then going to blast it up with my map gas, just harden and temper it basically, because I'm quite impressed with that, and that'll be used again. So yeah, I'm just going to harden and temper that, and that will live to see another day. So yeah, that's the end of part one of my rebuild saga for the Beamer. I'll see you again in part two. See you later, bye.